Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Queen, A.K.A. Misty Show. I am your host, Queen, A.K.A. Misty. And if you saw my introduction, it was on Facebook. Um, a little bit about me now and some of the things that I had been going through. And for those of you who did not see my introduction, I'm just going to give you a small recap. Uh, I had a stroke, and I'm thankful for being here. And I thanked a lot of people who showed to be my real friend. But today I'm going to talk to you about what led up to the stroke. So I'm not going to take you way back, but I'm going to take you back to 2009. Now, I live in Jersey. I am from New York, from the Bronx, A.K.A. the Valley. That is my hometown, and I love it and everyone there. Growing up in the Valley was amazing, and that's always going to be home to me. But in 2009, I was with a job for 15 years, and like many of us, the day came that I had to be laid off. They laid off a lot of us because a company in Jersey was buying the company I was with. Now, one of the things I also said in my introduction was that I'm not doing any retakes. So you can see the effects of a stroke and all the problems it causes. So I may stop talking because I'm not thinking the way I used to think, and the words are not going to come as easy as they did before. So I'm going to ask you to bear with me because there will be no retakes. I'm not trying to make this look perfect, because once you've had a stroke, that word goes out the window and you live the best way you can, but the word is live. So in 2009, I got laid off, and one of the conditions of being laid off was the company that took us over in Jersey needed to be trained on what we did. So they asked me to train the managers in the Bronx and then go to Jersey and train the employees. Now, this may sound strange, but I've never been to Jersey, so hey, I said I would do it and I would go. So when I trained the staff in Jersey, and this may sound tedious, but trust me, it's going to lead up to something in the episodes. I trained the managers in Jersey, and when I finished training the managers in Jersey, I think it took about 3 days. I'm sorry, in the Bronx, it took about 2 or 3 days if I remember correctly. If I don't remember correctly, it's because I can't. I got called into the conference room and was asked to join the company when they transferred to New Jersey, but I did not have to give a answer right away. First, they wanted me to see the place, and my cousin Lynette was nice enough to drive me to New Jersey so I could see the place. And I was impressed. It was huge. It was much bigger than what I was used to. So I saw the place, and then I prepared myself to train the employees. And during that time, one of the classes that I had, there was a young lady in the back of the class while I was talking, looking at her nails, not even paying attention. And I asked them, who is that? And they said, oh, she don't get along with nobody. She doesn't like it. And she has a very bad attitude. So I went to the guy who offered me the job, and I said, I just decided I'm going to take it. Because for some reason, that's a challenge to me, and I don't like to give up on challenges. So anyway, to make a long story short, which is probably too late now, by the time she ended her reign at that company, which was before me. We were best friends. And I like that because I like taking up people who there's no reason to have an attitude. And I wanted to break her and, you know, pat myself on the back. I broke her. We became very good friends. And I knew I wanted to work there then. So anyway, I was called in as a resolution specialist. So that doesn't really mean anything to anybody, but that was my job. Something happened, I resolved it, and I worked there. At the end of 3 years, we got called into a room and was told our services were no longer needed. So now I was laid off from this job. They was moving to Chicago and they asked me to go to Chicago and that didn't work out. So I was laid off. Now I've been with the company for 19 years and I was laid off. I had to find a job in Jersey. In Jersey from the Bronx, I was given my New York pay. But when I had to find a job in Jersey, wow, I was now on Jersey pay. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because that's where the problem started. I was taken from New York with New York pay, brought things with my New York money because I could afford it, not to brag or anything. It's just the situation. And now that I have a Jersey job, I could not pay for my New York lifestyle. Let's just put it that way. And I ran into financial problems. Now, I said in my introduction I was going to bare my soul, so I am going to bare my soul. I needed help. I could not afford my apartment anymore, so I went to different agencies to get help. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who goes through this, but I never thought it would happen to me, and that's the mentality that gets you in the problems. So I ended up coming out of my comfort zone and really asking for help and asking people, what can I do to, to get extra money to pay my bills? I started looking for a second job, and thousands of people have second jobs. Unfortunately, my health at the time would not let me do a second job. So I started asking agencies for help, and I came across this company called A.K.A. That's a company in Jersey that's supposed to be helping people who live in Jersey. I went to them, and they said they would help me. The lady told me point blank, after contacting them, what happens is you have to wait for them to call you, and they took forever to call me. I kept showing up and calling and showing up, going to work late, that I just got this job in Jersey, going to work late just to find out where I was on the list. So finally they called me in, and the lady said, I gotta pick up my sister at the train station, can we reschedule? I said, no, we cannot reschedule because I waited for months. I'm about to be evicted. So I showed her all of the paperwork that I had, and she goes, don't worry, you're not going to be evicted. But I don't work in this company, this department anymore. They just changed me. So I'm going to send you to another department. That alone made me furious. The lady that she sent me to said, I have your paperwork. I'm going to call you. We're going to get this resolved. Don't worry. Don't worry. Those are the words she said. Don't worry. If anybody says that to you, worry. Please worry. Don't make the mistake of not worrying. Make sure you worry and stay on top of it. I relaxed and took her don't worry as it's going to be okay. She never called me. She took forever to call me. Again, I'm going to work late. I'm showing up for her now. I'm asking her questions. Where am I on the list? Why aren't you calling me? I'm going to be evicted in time. Just, you got to let me know what's going on. So she would brush me off, and I would keep showing up and showing up. That's one thing that you have to do, is be persistent. Finally, when I showed up, showed her my paperwork, she looked at me and she said, we can't help you. I said, you can't help me. You told me that you could help me, and the lady across the hall said I would not be evicted. She said, well, you don't have enough evidence that you're in hardship, and we can't help you. And I can't express to you how I felt. But I'm going to tell you now that my brother got the brunt of it because I was screaming on the phone. I was in the street driving, screaming. He was begging me to pull over, and I screamed. And what happened after that, I am going to tell you in my next segment. So we're going to take a break right now. And what I will tell you is that when I went home after screaming, I did have an eviction notice on my door that day. And the only way I can come up with what happens next is hell. Pure hell. And I know it's going to be surprising to people who know me that I even said that word, because right now it's surprising to me, but I can't find another word to describe it. So we're going to take a break right now and stay right there. And when I come back, I'm going to show you what hell looks like. So we'll be back in a moment. Stay right there.